Mindset, a daily dose of practical wit and wisdom with a professional educator and trainer, Amazon best-selling author, United States Marine, television and radio host, Paul G. Markle. Each episode will focus on positive and productive ways to strengthen your mindset and help you improve your relationships, career goals, and overall well-being. Please welcome your host, Paul G. Markle.
All right, guys, welcome back to Morning Mindset, and we're doing things a little bit differently today. I don't know if you can tell or not from your end, but I actually am in the studio, in the padded wall studio, and joining me in the studio is my production engineer. I'm looking at him right now, and he's waving at me. So there's actually usually it's just me. Usually I go into the padded sound studio and, close the door and record. I set it up, and I do it all myself, which is fine, and it seems to have been working out pretty good so far. But today, we're doing it just a little bit differently, and so it's going to be different for me, because normally when I do Morning Mindset, it's just me staring at my laptop screen talking to you guys. So I think we'll get through it. I'm sure we will. Today, we're going to talk about what kind of a person do you want to be? All right. Well, that's a loaded question, Paul. I mean, I want to be a good person. I want to be a successful person. I want to be a person that everyone likes or what have you. Everyone has a purpose. And I know this sounds like kindergarten talk, and it sounds like, an episode of Barney, but every person has a purpose in life. They will have a purpose for you. They will have a purpose for others. You, whether you know it or not, you have your own purpose when other people are on the outside looking at you. You're like, people are judging me, Paul? They're like looking at me and judging me? I don't think I like that at all. I don't think I like what you're insinuating. Well, it's true. Each person you encounter and spend time with has a purpose in your life. Some of these people will inspire you. Some of these people will encourage you. Some of these people are just fun to be around. Some of these people will educate you. Now, other people that you will encounter and spend time with, maybe voluntarily or involuntarily, serve as cautionary tales, or, quite frankly, as examples of how not to behave. The trick is to be able to distinguish between the two. I've spent a lot of time in the United States military. I've been involved in law enforcement. I've been involved in professional security. I've been involved in the training process, training other human beings to handle firearms, and you guys know that I've been a small arms and tactics instructor and a contractor for the United States military, or at least you should by now. And one of the things that I encountered when I started working with groups of other people, especially people that you haven't worked with before, everyone has their own style, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you probably went to school and you had multiple teachers that you liked, and then you had teachers that you didn't like. But with the teachers that you liked, not all of them were the same, and that's fine. But some people will just say and do things that are not right, are incorrect, or are absolutely wrong. Some people will engage in behavior that is destructive behavior, and it harms themselves and those around them. These are the people that serve as bad examples. Now, almost no one thinks or believes that they are a bad example. I would say probably unless they are a drug addict or an alcoholic or someone who has reached rock bottom. Because, most alcoholics, until they reach rock bottom, don't really think they have a problem. They think they have it under control and everything's good. Same thing with drug addicts and so on and so forth. They think they've got it under control. They don't see what your problem is. And it's not until they hit rock bottom that they have to look themselves in the mirror and realize, okay, my behavior is really screwed up. And you know what? It wasn't everyone else. It was me. So no one is ever going to tell you, or no one's ever going to admit to being the bad example or the cautionary tale. But the truth of the matter is, if you are an educated and experienced person, you're going to encounter people, and you will say to yourself, it's easy to say, that person is a knucklehead or they're an imbecile or whatever, and they may be a knucklehead and they may be an imbecile, but can we learn from their behavior? Now, a person, you probably heard this, a wise man learns from his mistakes. How many of you heard that when you were growing up? Okay, you can put your hands down now. But, a wise man learns from his mistakes. And that is true. And you should learn from your mistakes. If you don't learn from your mistakes, if you keep making the same mistake over and over again, and you expect a different result, that's the definition of insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. We don't want to do that. So as you progress and you see people that are doing things that are incorrect, rather than just think, okay, this person's an imbecile, learn from their mistakes. Like I said, a wise man learns from his own mistakes. A wiser man will learn from the mistakes of others. A wiser person will pay attention to not only themselves, but to what other people are doing. And then when other people make mistakes, they will take note of that and say, you know what? All right, that person screwed up. That person made a mistake. That person is a knucklehead and they did it wrong. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn from that. And rather than make that mistake myself, I'm going to take action to ensure that doesn't happen. You dig what I'm squealing there? All right, I hope so. So when you wake up and as you progress throughout your day, you do have a definite choice to make. You can decide, do you want to be the good example or do you want to be the cautionary tale? Do you want to be the bad example? And nobody ever thinks that they are, but let's face it, there are a lot of bad examples out there. So if we're going to be intellectually honest with ourselves, you have a choice to make, and you can decide based upon what you do and how you behave. So, and before you just dismiss people as idiots or knuckleheads or imbeciles or whatever, and they may be all those things. I know that you know those people in your life. But when you see people acting incorrectly, use that as an example of how not to behave. So, everyone you encounter, everyone you spend time with, everyone that you see and interact with in your life serves as an example for you. Some people will inspire you, encourage you, educate you, help you improve your situation. And then there's the other ones who serve as examples of how not to do it. It's up to you to determine which one you want to be. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you for joining me from Morning Mindset, and I'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for spending time with us today. To get show notes, submit a topic request, and for more from your host, Paul G. Markle, visit morningmindsetpodcast.com. That's morningmindsetpodcast.com. Please leave a review for this podcast on your favorite podcast player. We appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to reading your honest feedback.